Bit choppy on the fork. Like, oh, different lines though. So bottomed out on that little compression there, which so we opened low speed on compression on the shock to help it sit in the travel a bit more to balance out from lowering the fork pressure. Oh, nailed it! I just think the bike just felt to me like it was fighting me everywhere. It wasn't like...
We were also, your first run, we were like in the hands and all that.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've never tried the 36, so I tried that, not knowing if it would be better or worse, but in my mind, theoretically, like dropping weight, smaller guy, I was like, maybe it's good for me. Really preferred the 30.
So, I don't think I did a good enough job describing what I was feeling and changing yesterday, but a lot of people were asking what I did, so today we'll try to get you more of that side of things. Since we set up on trail today, didn't really know yesterday, I should get to a pretty tentative setup. And so here when I start opening it up on trails, I know it might feel a bit soft, but when we go to Europe, we don't know the trails, so I mean, you kind of just set up your suspension a little bit different and a little bit more open, because you're not hitting things as hard unless you miss a line. Yeah, this is gonna be scary. Jeez, to do over and over. It is so loose. Holy, that felt okay. Nothing bad really. I feel like it was maybe getting hung up a little bit on the back brake, but it's so steep that if you soften your stuff for that, you're gonna get into this flatter, more speed generation stuff and then just lose all your support that you want. So you have to kind of think of where you want the changes that you make to be. That's scary.
Yeah, that was quite scary.
Woo! Gonna be gnarly.
Yeah. All right, now the good stuff. That's good. Well, this whole section's good for testing rough main line, but tough to stay on the main line.
Why'd you go so inside?
Where? I don't know. I guess I shouldn't go so inside. Bit choppy on the fork. Like, all right, I think my GoPro cut out a little bit on that last one, but as I was saying, trying to do a better job today getting you the stuff that I'm changing. So at the end of that one, just felt like I was getting pretty harsh hits right off the top. Here comes Remy. Woo! Yeah, just like maybe because I was being more aggressive because I know these trails, I was just getting a bit of like hand fatigue, which could be because it was a big day yesterday and like first run today. But I was saying, because I'm on the angle set now, or on the angle set and it's a bit slacker, I can afford to go a little bit softer in the fork. So I'm lowered fork pressure by 2 psi just to kind of see if that like takes off that initial edge of the roots down there, because it's pretty dry and it's pretty fast. So all those roots just felt like pretty stingy. So we'll see if that makes a difference. Here comes Alan.
Okay?
Yeah.
Is your crash?
No.
Okay.
Just drop it in here. What concerned teammates, so nice. Yesterday, coil versus air. The air felt good, and like I'm sure it'd be good in these trails, but the coil now just feels so supple and compliant, and it just allows me to ride like the smooth way. This is where the softer air pressure is definitely going to be worse, if it is, because it's steep, which means I'm going to be sagging way more in my travel, which makes my bike theoretically feel steeper, but it seems to have pretty good control. I was able to get into that high line there. I don't really feel scared. I actually feel almost more confident because it's not bucking me as much off of things. Of course, second run, so I'll be a little bit better. No, actually, I just took pressure out of my fork and it actually felt a lot better. Like, even if I was riding lower, like it felt like I had more control because it was like taking the little hits, but all right, go for it. It's nice to follow people, so you're focusing on something else other than your own problems, and then if something bad happens, you know that, oh yeah, that doesn't feel good. Oh, different lines though. So bottomed out on that little compression there, which is fine. You are supposed to bottom out kind of once a run, just means that you're using full travel. One thing to note too, if you're changing, like I stopped there longer, so my hands might not feel as tired on this lap. And good braking, good traction, good control. Alright, yeah. Just a bit of a Charlie horse on that one. Ouchie. Those things will happen. I've been talking about that last lap, this lap, like all of these things, good support, and then all of them are just people doing that. Oh, where the edge of the corner just gets taken out. So if you're not, that's why you gotta set up wide so you can come in the tight of the corner, because otherwise if you come in not wide, you're kind of missing the apex and you're trying to get your support out here, which is where it gets pushed constantly. So that one was alright. Slow speed, kind of hit that rock. Phone is not broken, which is nice. Oh, okay, that's good. Good wake up. Hopefully the bike's alright. I don't think that was anything to do with suspension or anything. That was just me, yeah, finding the limits of the traction today. So not too concerned there. And then after you crash, you want to make sure don't go straight back up to speed, because something on your bike that you might not notice might be out of whack. So just make sure it's feeling okay. Frick that line. I know, well I missed it last time too. This is really where I felt my fork, so let's see. Another steep section just to test that it's not too riding too low. Definitely feels just that little more supple. And now maybe my rear is balanced so that it isn't supple. Wah. Wah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found the limits. I definitely bottomed more than I probably would like.
Yeah.
A few just like full bottom, like, oh. But overall it felt better. I felt like I had more control. It was less painful. And actually in the steep sections at the top, I felt like I had a lot more control and was able to turn and be more comfortable in that stuff. So yeah, maybe it's high speed just to stop some of those flow through travel, I guess. I'm not sure, like it just, there's a few hits.
We're pretty open on high speed, right? So
yeah, okay, so we could go
close
it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do know that trail, so I'm pushing it, so I know that I might bottom more than on other trails, but it was a few too many.
If you're setting up for that one spot,
exactly,
it works like shit everywhere else, right?
Exactly.
So that's where you got to set up slightly differently, right? Like you got to think about that.
And you see I'm getting a bit bucked and a bit bucked both times. Yeah. So I think because we made my fork softer, my rear maybe felt a bit.
You're
pushing me a bit.
Well, you're more forward, so.
So how do we soften my rear? So we opened flow speed on compression on the shock to help it sit in the travel a bit more, to balance out from lowering the fork pressure. Things you feel for are really just things that you don't like. What unsettles you, what makes you feel bad in a section. Like, I don't know, if you're getting balked in your way over the front, then you should probably change something somewhere, or like you're losing traction, or you're skidding out in corners. Just things that obviously where like you make a mistake, and if you can put that down to maybe your bike, don't always blame your equipment, but yeah, you just want to feel where you're kind of uncomfortable, and then you change something to do with that. And usually you start with just your sag, and then from there you can change your clickers and make sure you're in a good range. But kind of what we're looking for here. Like yesterday, I found a pretty comfortable setup on stuff I didn't know. And today I'm pushing a bit more because I know these trails. And I just want to find out where I feel sketchy and where I'm kind of like, oh, I almost lost it there. Like, what is my suspension doing that's making me do that if it wasn't my mistake? So it takes practice to kind of figure that out, but so easy to click these things and you just try 2 one way, 2 the other way, and then you start getting closer and closer and just 1 and 1, and yeah.
I don't want to say anything. I was gonna just.
It's all good. You're just gonna be my video. Say hello to the YouTubers.
Oh, hello. This is non-stop filming.
Non-stop filming. Do I have your consent to put you in my videos?
Yeah. I just got greedy with accelerating the rebound.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Accelerating it? Yeah. Well, I mean on that stuff, because with the 29 especially, like it's just steep drops, you're braking. I don't know if it's rebound or if it's just like you're just gonna be getting hung up.
Yeah, I was feeling a bit wild.
Yeah. Kind of bottomed again, but a little bit less and more manageable. Like, didn't really hurt me. It was like, oh yeah, it bottomed, so that's fine. Again there, like, I feel like that's just a really good use of full travel. Because as long as you're coming in quick, you're hitting a square edge bump. So I would expect it to bottom. Back feels a little bit lame, if that can be described. It's just like not moving as much as I would like it to. It's definitely supportive, but I feel like it's not taking the successive hits. Loose, try tight. Nope. Oh, nailed it. That was good though. Good turn out of it. Another good thing to have when testing is getting video review in slow-mo so you can see what's happening on top of feeling it. You good? Okay. Drop. Nice and easy. Yeah, that was better. Definitely slower than that other lap, but it took that compression way more controlled. So that's closing high speed. It definitely modulates, or like it just slowly slows the impact speed. So that's definitely what you want it to be doing.
How was that?
Definitely. I mean, I maybe rode the 2 big bottom-out sections a bit more tentative.
Sure.
I hiked the 1, but it was definitely a nicely, like a more controlled bottom. I still hit bottom,
Sure.
but it wasn't like I was taking a lot of excess hit after bottom. It was like, oh, bottom, yeah, it was there. So I don't know if we want to go more or if that's like acceptable. Just because it is
changing the shock, right? So
well, we did the fork, we did the high speed on the fork.
yeah, we gave it 1 more.
And then so the shock, definitely a slightly better riding position. Like I'm a little bit more settled in, but it was a bit, it wasn't as active as I wanted. It felt like it was a bit lame.
And that's because we took off the preload, right? So imagine.
Okay.
So that would mute the shock a bit more because you weren't getting the pushback.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So
do you want to change the shock and?
yeah, we're gonna do that right now anyway. So.
So that's got a new rebound tune.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, sweet.
So we're actually going to go slightly lighter in compression also.
And lighter in compression.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll be good. That's perfect.
Let's just try that, and then we can still.
Yeah, because that's what I don't want to change. The spring is too big of a difference, but lighter compression will be nice to kind of allow me to use more settings in there. Nice. High line. Ouchie. Holy rocks are not cool. Jump to high. I
didn't like it as much.
No, it's a bit, something's a bit, like I feel like it's not keeping up. Hard to say, but it just feels a bit like friction-y. Just doesn't want to move any direction fast, which could mean a double setting change. Compression and rebound to get both directions faster, but we'll see on this stuff. Really riding is fast as I probably should be. Just riding tentative. Oh, coffee?
Yeah, I've got here.
Nice. Score!
Like, bad?
No, I felt a lot less settled and planted. I felt like I was fighting the bike a lot.
Cool.
Okay.
We gotta test.
Yeah?
I think that's where we're gonna be for the first 1 or 2 rounds.
Okay. Yeah, it was just like,
Because it's a lot of.
it felt a lot of like almost friction both ways.
Didn't like it about that.
Could have been the brake then maybe.
Yeah, the brake is definitely probably.
How did Alan feel?
Not good.
Okay, so maybe it was the brake.
Yeah, I think you guys are all kind of like at that point.
I just think the bike was just felt to me like it was fighting me everywhere. Wasn't like.
We were also your first run. We were like in the hands and all that.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Mhm.
And you said you were getting bucked.
Not
get
bucked from the rear just specifically, but just all over. I was just getting like
you weren't
I was
getting
just
grip.
getting kicked offline everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
front and back. Just
okay, that's exactly. So I can
Yeah.
see if you're hitting it with your front and you're getting deflected.
yeah. It just felt harder to stay on my lines.
The bike is fairly balanced. Let's bracket open.
To me, the shock just feels a bit stiff, like there,
Yeah.
like deeper in the travel. But it should be a lighter tune, right? So what are you changing?
Low speed compression. I'm gonna open up one.
Okay,
It's just how that rebound is gonna react with the CL.
sure.
I'm gonna try one lighter on low speed compression and just see how it affects the rear end. And should we check the PSI on the fork?
Sure.
Because you're still getting into the bottom of that fork.
Yeah, still getting to the bottom and still controlled bottom outs. Open things up a bit to have the suspension move more to hopefully help me feel planted. And like even here, I'm able to just turn over this rough stuff. Not really worried too much about getting bucked off line severely. That's when you know things are good. Ah! One time, that corner, oh boy. Dude, this thing can get out of hand so quick. That's ridiculous, oh God. As you move, Jesse. But these are the ones. Smooth through there. Oh yeah. Definitely just feeling more on it, I think. Could be just back into the flow of things, but wasn't fighting it online, not tentative, and the bike just felt like I could control it more, which is, that's the feeling you're looking for. Is just, you know, it's all fine if you're getting sketchy, but just really for enduro, after a feeling that is predictable, comfortable, and confidence inspiring, that's the most important thing, so that you don't have to think about it and you just focus on your race. Better.
See, I just figured you guys were just like this.
Yeah, it's possible. Like, I definitely just felt a little bit less tentative,
Yeah.
and I was able to like be riding a trail and getting bounced around, but still eyes up looking for where I needed to hit the corner.
None of this shit was happening?
Not on this track. Like, I don't think that happens as much.
It's predictable.
Yeah, it's exactly, that's what I
Right?
said.
So
like,
that's
it's predictable.
That's easy. That's where we need to be.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know.
I think that comes with getting on the track a bit more and riding this tune
Yeah.
and feeling it.
Alright, no change, because I didn't know what to change, so just ride again and see if I notice anything that I don't like. See there, I was able to like overshoot that corner, but still turn and make it in. So I'm feeling pretty like comfortable, and whew, that one definitely goes away from you. Also just not really pushing it that much, which is good. 2 days of shuttles. Getting tired. Mistakes start happening. Oh, windy. Faster there because I felt it was more comfortable. I was taking the bumps but not upsetting my bike heel. Faster into that. Yeah, just rolling over this stuff. This quarter. Woo-hoo-hoo. That was the loosest, also the fastest. See there, feeling like I'm able to start pushing it and run wide. Whoa, ran me right on my ass. I don't want to stop riding, but I feel like we're done for today. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with that.
It was like the first lap I liked the shock, and then I haven't liked it since.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you should listen to me more often.
It's not we weren't listening to you.
It was Jordy. Blame Jordy.
Yeah.
I don't blame Jordy for nothing, but track definitely changes, right? So
Yeah,
that tune might work something like, you know what I mean? Like it might be better for a different type of.
yeah.
Let's go back to what you did with yesterday's and then go from there.
Make me look tall. Tell me how I really feel. I feel really good actually. Like, I like to test everything so that I can get rid of things in my head, you know? It's like, I've never tried the 36, so I tried that, not knowing if it would be better or worse, but in my mind, theoretically, like dropping weight, smaller guy, I was like, maybe it's good for me. But I just really preferred the 38 and the way it just stayed consistent and confident under heavy braking when I had to make moves on the trail. And that for me is a huge confidence booster. So maybe there's some downsides, but I don't really actually feel them. I just feel the positives on that side. So I really like the 38 and I'm happy that I made that decision, and I can that's one thing that I can put out of my mind. Air versus core, we tried the air again, and coil just is too supple, and I feel like I changed my riding style a bit with this new bike. It's longer, it stretches me out, and it gives me a much more like Sam Hill-esque riding style of just really smoothing things out and trying not to be too dramatic on the bike. So the coil just really allows you to be planted and make those kind of small changes, and you run wide to get back on the trail. So the air definitely, like on trails like this in Squamish, it can be faster because you can just pump and generate lots of speed and be really quick and nippy. But for EWS most of the time, like that's good because you want to generate speed, but I feel like things are getting fast and getting pretty gnarly, so just cruising down the trails like fast is nicer, so I kind of like that, and that's why I prefer the coil on this bike. And then we tried a few different tunes, which is really cool. So we tried to go lighter compression, different rebound tune, and it's really cool that you can kind of feel those things because I went from old shock to new shock, and that to me I was like, well, the old shock works, like it's a shock, it's a coil that works sweet. And then going to the new shock, you can just feel it slightly like you ride a little bit higher and it's doing more work, and so I just really like that on the new shock. And so yeah, we made tons of progress today, and now that I've done this and in my mind I've canceled a lot of options, I can get on this setup and just really ride into it and get really comfortable on it and go to Europe and be super happy. So thanks to Fox for the support. At the end of the day, it's like we want to be the fastest, but also while staying safe. Yeah, good for me. Stay safe.